Okay, so it seems like Ironmouse was right yet again, and obviously this is to do with the situation that happened a couple of months ago in terms of the streamer awards, where obviously Rakai and who's the other guy, Ray, also came up to Ironmouse, and obviously she said she felt uncomfortable, and then ended up getting a lot of backlash, or a lot of people, trying to claim that she was racist and stuff, for not wanting to interact with them and not wanting to be anywhere near them, which obviously is now starting to become a little bit obvious as to why she didn't want to be near them, right? And not only is it, the fact of, hey, they harassed her before, they've literally sent their communities after her before, but it's also the fact of things like, for example, a lot of the clips that have been coming out of Rakai, and it seems that they've just been getting worse and worse and worse, right? It hasn't been just, the old, because at the time, at the Stream Awards, the clips weren't that awful. There's a couple of annoying ones, of course, but they weren't that awful. But now it's starting to get even more terrible, and it's just, at the end of the day, pretty horrible to see. And obviously we covered in the last video of Ray actually doing this. And obviously I said in the last video, Ironmouse was right about Ray, all of this kind of stuff, because of the messages that he was actually sending to this, I think it was an EPAL person, essentially, yeah, saying some pretty disgusting things towards her. And again, we were like, okay, yeah, 100% right on that one. And now it seems like the other person, Rakai, has now been getting a lot of backlash as well, which is quite funny to see, because obviously people, as I said, a lot of people in VTuber drama here saying, remember when, people tried to say Ironmouse was racist for not wanting to be near this guy. And of course, now we have a lot of these clips that are coming out. For example, this one where Rakai apparently crashes out on a streamer called Mari for saying things he did not like at the Streamer Awards, and he gets very aggressive here. Like he says, suck my, you ugly, screw you. And I can't play the clip because, again, it's gonna take like me an hour to censor literally every single swear word and other words in there that he has kind of said. But again, he gets very like aggressive over it. I mean, you can see, he's not happy whatsoever with whatever she said. Now, I don't know exactly what she said. I don't know how, crazy, she's, been towards them. But again, from the content that I've seen of her, she doesn't seem like the person that would be like kind of like dogging on him, right? In the sense of like constantly trying to like bring him down or whatever. But again, even if that was the case, I feel like a lot of people have been pretty upset with his behavior anyways. But throughout the event and everything like that, it seems like he's been like antagonizing a lot of the kind of members of, especially the MrBeast streamer challenge, right? This was one of the, challenges that kind of set off a lot of this drama, right? Was essentially, there was a MrBeast event where a lot of streamers and YouTubers and whatever were there. This was one of the bigger kind of clips that got pretty viral as Rakai actually made it through to a pretty small number of people, including with people like Rubius, obviously Spanish streamer, right? Who apparently, obviously got out in the event, and he lost or whatever. Apparently he was targeting Rakai a little bit in terms of like trying to get him out. But obviously then Rakai went and did this. And you got to bear in mind, like, he's just lost $1 million for his community, right? So yeah, obviously he's doing that kind of thing to someone, that he's just, he's just gone out of this event. He's kind of saying, oh, you're out, thank God, like whatever. And people were mad, and I think that is totally fine, because of course it seems like he's antagonizing people throughout this entire event, right? It's not just like the fact that, oh, he's just being chill, he's not doing anything wrong, he's just doing stuff on his own. No, he's literally going around and antagonizing other streamers. And of course, if you do that, other streamers aren't going to be happy, right? People aren't going to be happy when you do that. And I think it is one of these cases where, the kind of consequences for your actions need to be realized, right? Because of course, after this, Rakai actually managed to get a lot of kind of like threats and things towards him and his family and whatever, which obviously sucks. But, whenever you're going around doing this kind of stuff, antagonizing people, I mean, it's kind of like the consequences of your own actions, right? Of course, it's a very extreme consequence for your own action, and, I don't want it to happen to anybody, but the case is, you've been going around antagonizing people, and now you're going, well, why are they so mad at me? Like, oh, I don't even know why they're so mad at me. Screw you. And like, and it's kind of like one of these situations where it's just like so stupid, right? It's so stupid, because he's doing the same to Mari as well. You're going around and antagonizing people. She's obviously said a couple of bad things or negative things about you, and then you go on, suck my blank, you ugly blank. It's crazy, right? It's crazy that, he's just so unhinged and doesn't understand that, his actions do have consequences, and that people, aren't gonna like him if he says certain things about people, right? And if he does certain things towards people and, whatever. And that's the same thing for the whole Ironmouse situation as well, right? He went up to her, obviously knowing that, there is this whole past with her in terms of harassing her and her community whenever she overtook, I think it was Kai Cenat's a sub record, I think it was. And obviously Kai had to, step in and say, hey guys, stop going after her. Like, this is just weird. But obviously, Rakai and Ray were some of the people that kind of instigated that and were the ones that were continuing to kind of harass her for that. And obviously, yeah, then he was acting like, oh, why is she so mad at me? Well, because you've been antagonizing people for this entire time. It's just it's a pattern, right? It's a pattern that continues to go on, and it seems like it will never end. Rakai will continue to antagonize people. Rakai will continue to kind of, harass people or whatever in any kind of, shape or form, whether it's in person or not in person, right? And then he will then go, well, why are they so mad at me for doing that? And I don't know, a lot of people obviously use the defense as well of the fact that he is 17. But, like, let's be real. I don't think it really matters at this point. I think it is one of these situations where he is old enough to understand that, a lot of this stuff can have an effect, right? And of course, is this all going to change whenever his birthday hits? I'm pretty sure it's like near the end of the year. Is this all going to change as soon as he hits 18? That people are going to go, okay, now we're going to start holding him accountable for his actions because now he's, 18. Like, I just don't think that's the case, right? I feel like you should hold anybody accountable for their actions, especially if they're publishing it online and affecting other people, right? You're not just going to let some kid go around and, rob a store or whatever and go, oh, yeah, it's fine because he's just a kid, right? So why would you do the same if he's going around and harassing people, right? Like, I feel like it is one of these things where, people try to use that as a defense, but let's be real, 17 doesn't mean he's like 10. Right? It doesn't mean he's like 5 years old and doesn't know what he's doing. He's fully aware of what he's doing. He's fully aware of what is going on. Now, of course, yes, things might be amplified due to the fact that he is younger, of course. But I don't think it should be used as an excuse for his actions and for, some of the things that he's been doing to antagonize them because, the consequences are hitting him. The consequences are hitting him pretty hard in the sense of, yeah, as I said, he's been getting threats and whatever. And, oh, is he just a kid then? I feel like it is one of these crazy things where, I don't think people should be defending him over this because, again, it could turn out to be something even worse for whenever he does become an adult, right? And people start to hold him accountable much more in the future because I'm sure a lot of people are holding off because of that fact. So, maybe if he hits 18, maybe he hits, an older age, right? Of course, maybe some people are going to go even crazier on him because, oh, well, it's fine now. I think it's insane, right? But again, I do think at the end of the day, it just kind of proves how right Ironmouse was to not really want to interact with these people because, of course, it seems like they have not been nice to other streamers in general, right? And I think that shows. I think that really kind of just sums it all up. This kind of situation of what Ironmouse was trying to avoid, and almost avoided in the sense of they had a short conversation at the Stream Awards. That was it. But imagine hanging out with him even longer during an event like this and him, doing this kind of stuff to you. It just wouldn't be, very bearable to take, right? And I think that, yeah, of course, it just seems to be getting worse and worse and worse and worse. But yeah, I mean, that's essentially all of an update that I wanted to give you on Rakai and essentially what he's been getting up to in terms of this kind of stuff. Because, again, I think it does pertain pretty heavily to the Ironmouse situation and how this has become now a pattern of him, antagonizing streamers, harassing streamers, right? And then obviously, acting shocked as soon as, something happens back, right? As soon as, people don't like it, as soon as people start to speak up about it or say that they feel uncomfortable about it. Of course, Ironmouse obviously said she was uncomfortable with the interaction that she had, right? And that was just saying she was uncomfortable about it. And now, you got streamers saying that they, don't like him, right? It just gets worse and worse and worse, right? So I think the kind of uncomfortable, thing that people were focusing on so much was only the start, right? And I think it is only getting, I think the sentiment towards him is only getting worse as time goes on and as he does more stuff like this to antagonize other streamers and other people, right? But yeah, that's about all I got for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code Kazza, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.